Don't be afraid to tap into the lifeguard. If you don't understand where the rip is, when you set up your beach chair, walk over to the lifeguard, have a conversation. Hey, is there a strong rip someplace today that I should be aware of? I find that a lot of people don't want to engage the lifeguards. They're there to help you.
Bring it on!
Welcome to Girls Gone Gritty. I'm Farley Boyle.
I'm Darian Boyle.
And I'm Jennifer Brenius.
Collectively, we're two sister-in-laws with our bestie.
We don't just talk, we do it. Day, night, mountain, beach, and city.
Get ready as we bring gratitude and attitude to everything we do.
We jump in head first, unafraid, and we're all in all the time.
We bring it on and get it on each week, diving deep into authentic, unscripted conversations
on just about everything. So,
let's get gritty.
Bring it on! Bring it on! Don't wait until tomorrow.
All right, and welcome. Hey, all you radiant summer beings. We are so happy that you tuned in again to us on Girls Gone Gritty. If you could pause your summer fun and click and subscribe for us right now, hit that little button on whatever you listen to. It's a bell, it's a follow. If you can do that for us right now, that helps us so much. We are so excited to dive deep into conversations, and we're diving deep today. I want you to get ready for some water, safety, and fun. And before we get wet, Farley's going to bring our top 3 this week. We're going to go from some treasure to seeing some great blues and hopefully shake off that quake. But then we'll dry off, move right into someone who makes a huge splash in women's sports. Got a great got grit this week as well. Dee, what the heck happened this weekend with Cappy?
So we had a great time at a Super 70s show. And when we came home, we saw my 2 nephews and the babysitter staring at Cappy, who's a 12-pound rescue Jack Russell dog, sitting on the couch, and he was kind of tweaking, and you'd go near him and he was tweaking and twitching, and his eyes would roll to the back of his head. And I was like, oh my God, he's dying. How about ending your night that way? So we scrambled. I called poison control and put them on hold. And then we get in the car, and that was a joke.
$90 later, and how are you going to tell me what my dog might have ingested or not?
Well, I don't even understand
until Farley called, and till we did find out what he ingested. Thankfully, it was 3 a.m. after a very long night, and I'm driving carefully an hour away to the vet.
Whoopsie. We were panic stricken because it did seem as though Cappy could potentially be dying. I couldn't understand what he could have, did he drink antifreeze? We didn't know what happened till I got up to my bedroom and I saw a wrapper next to my bed and a chocolate bar that had been consumed. And thankfully it wasn't a ton of chocolate, but it was enough chocolate to do some damage. And there might've been other things in the chocolate.
Luckily we got to the vet. We finally got a hold of poison control, because that's the first thing you have to do if anyone's listening and they do have a pet that looks like they ingested something wrong and they might be dying. Luckily, Farley was good enough to send the photo of the wrapper with skull and crossbones on it. And once we got a hold of poison control, they said, look, Cappy is a junkyard dog. He's eaten 12 candy bars. He eats candy, but
this, by the way, was on the top of a bed in my luggage inside a bag, and I just hadn't zipped the zipper. And as Jeff said, hey, he's a hound. He sniffed it out.
And as we referenced last week, dogs have 10,000 more powerful than humans in sense because of our lightning bugs.
He finds anything. He brings things out. Thankfully, we took him home, and
he slept it off.
Slept it off for 2 days. He was really hungry after a while, but you know what? Al Capone, Cappy, you made it through another day.
Pretty smart.
So just know, call the poison control. If any of your pets eat an item and you're not quite sure what it is, they will tell you.
Why are we calling? They didn't tell us. I told you. After you know what they've consumed.
After we knew.
Yes. Not before. Before we called them and it was $90, and how are you going to? So we hung up on.
So we
I understand how they were trying to charge you $90. I thought poison control was a free service. I know when my son had a situation,
maybe for humans,
where he ingested dog poop and was 18 months old and had it in his nose, and it was so. This is my oldest son, Jack. I thought my husband and my mother-in-law might die.
Oh my God, I think I might.
It was so terrible, but thankfully it's not poisonous, unlike chocolate and fun chocolate, different type of chocolate that you don't want to ingest. But
somebody gave me that, by the way.
Yikes.
Yes, but you have to call poison control, and they charge, it's the ASPCA. They charge $100, but you have a case number, and then you can call that number back. You give them your case number and you can follow up. So I took Cappy home, and they said, well, if he starts having seizures, give us a call and bring him back to the vet. No shit.
Exactly. Thanks.
I'm like, well, look, it looks like he's having a seizure right now.
I had to tell the guys, you have to put like a towel around him, almost like you're catching a bird, because he was tweaking out so much.
He was
awful.
tweaking. Look at the dog and say, if you ever think about eating a chocolate that has skull and crossbones on it, look at my dog right now, and you'll never look at another chocolate bar again.
Aunt Farley's not allowed over it. And on that note, I'm going to take age exit left, and I'm going to bring you to our top 3 today. Number 3, Newport isn't Neverland, but Captain Cook's scuttled boat Endeavor is still there.
Oh, you know what? It's so cool when they find these old vessels. When we were reading the story, it's a 1778 vessel that was intentionally submerged by the British to prevent the French and the Americans from port of entry. And they were able to, with the new technology, bring it up, and the cool pictures of like these schooners. It just brings you back to you know, Captain Hook and Neverland and Peter Pan and all that fun stuff.
I know I actually I have a big ship on the back of my shirt right now and an anchor in the front in lieu of Captain Cook, but
Wow.
it was submerged for 250 years. So it's pretty cool because it is such a major historical breakthrough, especially for Australia and any of the British maritime heritage, because it's part of history and they haven't known where it is. So to find that, it's amazing the things that they're discovering these days. I love it.
It was the first ship to sail to Australia. So if you haven't caught our Australia episode, you can do that too.
Absolutely. And you can put on your jorts. Not. Number 2, Tsunami surfable waves. Thank God.
Thank God. This was a scary story. I mean, my phone was blown up with my kids. They're surfers, and the 8.8 magnitude ring of fire earthquake that set off what was potentially tsunamis up and down the Pacific was very scary, especially when you see things that had happened in Indonesia in the past and the
Thailand.
impact. In Thailand. So I'm so happy that this wasn't a story the day we woke up from it.
I was texting all my friends, Double D, and a bunch of my friends from Hawaii. And I just said, you know, my prayers are with you. Get to higher grounds. And I got a text. My dog, my son, his son Tiger, and Double D, they got to higher grounds. Said, but the people down below are effed. And it made my heart drop when I saw it. Thankfully, when we woke up, the surf in Hawaii was 5.7 feet, where normally it's catastrophic. And then it was hitting California, it was hitting Alaska. So the trajectory of where the tsunami was going to hit and impact was pure devastation. And then you had the crew, the surfers that jumped on planes and went to Tahiti and went to these other spots where they would find surf in places where the tsunami actually is bringing in waves, but not basically tearing down the whole area.
This is like one of
But
the
it was
biggest
thankfully-
earthquakes ever recorded.
Yeah,
So
It
I
was
think
the
it's sixth.
strongest,
I think it's the
strongest,
sixth in recorded history, tied for sixth.
it's the strongest recorded globally since 2011.
Yeah, which happened in the same spot.
Happened in the same spot, and that's what, you know.
Which I
Crazy.
think that's not a good place.
Maybe you want to
Maybe you want to move.
move. I'm
it was
just,
Russia.
Speaking of moving,
Was it in Russia?
It was in
yeah,
Russia.
yeah.
Okay, number 1, Sweeney swastika, or just jeans, JEANS.
If you saw this American Eagle campaign, it's sexy. She's a beautiful girl. I feel bad when there's backlash and the double entendre sometimes of using the words jeans and gene, GENE, is where people got upset. People need to take a deep breath. Yeah, you're giving your genetics. It is what it is. You've got really beautiful people. You got really smart people. You've got really athletic people. Like, use your vessel the best that you can, and everybody just be happy and positive that there's a beautiful person in a pair of nice jeans.
well, yeah, Sydney Sweeney, she's gorgeous. I want to buy the jeans that she's wearing, and I don't care what her jeans are. I mean, people need to get a grip and just take it for what it is. Advertising. I want to buy the jeans because she looks smoking in them.
She has
Next.
blue eyes, people.
Come on.
It was the blue jeans.
Sorry, what do you want?
Blue eyes and
I-
not Aryan race.
Well, and they did a great job. Let's be honest. They're really smart because even if they made people upset, everybody's talking about it.
And they rocked the
Exactly.
boat.
Everybody's
Because-
talking about it, including the girls. Girls Gone Grit.
They rocked the boat. And that might bring us into our summer safety episode today.
For anybody that knows us, we live very coastal. So summer safety is something I think that we can often take for granted. And it's one of those things that I remind myself that we need to revisit. I myself have a pool. We belong to beach clubs. My children are lifeguards. But there are 3 different rule buckets that, you know, the etiquette and the rules and the safety fall into. So from beach to boat to pool. We want to kind of tackle all the things that you at home can do to make your summer safe, especially in the wake of some of these drownings that have happened recently with some of the childhood stars and some of the local people in Hershey Park.
If anybody didn't read about
Malcolm-Jamal
yeah,
Warner.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner from the Cosby Show, he was in Costa Rica on a family vacation, and he did not evaluate the rip properly, and for a swim, and there's conflicting stories that he went for a swim with his daughter and was trying to save his daughter. We're not quite sure exactly what happened beyond the fact that he is no longer with us because he got sucked into the rip and aspirated a lot and it was over. The scary thing is every time you go to the beach, you're still shocked. I'm shocked at kids that are on the water's edge on a big wave day and where's the parent? Or people that are just not great swimmers, you can tell, and they're out past where they should be. And Darian spent quite a lot of time lifeguarding.
Yes.
What do you have to say on that?
National lifeguard, national champion. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
But no, I'm not kidding. Yes. So once a lifeguard, always a lifeguard. I started lifeguarding in high school and I was with junior guards today. My daughter's doing junior guards, and it's when the lifeguards teach the younger kids water rescue, first aid, kayaking, paddleboarding, everything. So I'm looking at these littles and I go, this is where it starts. And the one lifeguard comes up to me, high fives. He goes, you've had more saves this year than all of us, because I have had 4 giant saves this year.
It's crazy.
And when I say once a lifeguard, always a lifeguard, you never turn your back to the water. And the rips right now, they come so fast. Unless you know a spot, how to read a rip, you don't know. I was out surfing and all of a sudden I look over and I saw this. I saw the water started churning. And when it goes from low to high or high to low, you always have to look out and kind of watch what it's doing. And I was on my paddleboard and I said, I see this rip starting that I know is there. An uncle and his nephew. And they're going to hit this rip and get sucked out and get in trouble. So I start sprinting and I can paddle pretty fast. All of a sudden, within 20 seconds, help, help. They start screaming, waving their arms, and they're out pretty far and screaming. Well, typical. When someone's drowning, they will take whoever is next to you. They will hold their head down. They will climb up on you, trying to get themselves the breath. Well, I got there and the uncle was screaming. He dusted his nephew, left him, kind of paddled away. And I went and I airtimed full Baywatch style onto this kid who was under. And I pulled him up and I used all my weight and all my power and strength. And I threw his body up on my paddleboard. The lifeguards came out right then. It happened that quickly. Then the uncle came over. He said, you are my angel. I pray every day. He goes, my nephew is mad at me because he said you left me. He said, but he was climbing up on me, trying to drown me. And I said, those are textbook problems when you're out with someone. And if you feel that the person next to you is in danger and you're screaming and trying to get help, you have to give an arm's length space between you, because they will do that. He goes, you saved my nephew. He won't go in the water. I said, I will take him in the water, but right now he's got to respect it and he needs to chill out. And
another valuable lesson is when you find yourself caught in a rip, everybody has to not fight it. Go with it. Let it just take you. Eventually, you're going to be sucked out to wherever the rip stops, and then you're going to swim either to the right or the left, and you're not going to be exhausted from fighting the rip. So the best advice is, if you ever find yourself in a rip, and hopefully there's people watching it happen, don't panic and don't try to swim out of it, because more than likely it's going to win. Let it suck you to where it's going, and then people can come rescue you, or you can swim to the right or to the left and start trying to make your way back to safety.
As soon as you feel that it's pulling you, you go parallel with the beach. The rips are like a mushroom, and it comes from, it's like a reverse mushroom. They go from, it's called the beach, and it kind of comes up, it swings, and it does this crazy swirls on each side. And you can see it. If you go to a beach, you just sit and watch the water through the lows and high tides, and you can tell when these rips happen. So for all you that are going to the beach, just be aware of the water.
That means you parents.
Yes.
Well, and
And
what I would
always
say to
watch your
that,
kids. Don't count on the lifeguards watching your kids.
not everybody has a lifeguard background or a lifeguard in their family or understands the way the water works like the Boyles or the Berniuses do, because of
Or
the
water
way we
people.
live. Having said that, yeah, watch your own kids. Absolutely agree with Darian on that. But also don't be afraid to tap into the lifeguard. If you don't understand where the rip is, when you set up your beach chair, walk over to the lifeguard, have a conversation. Hey, is there a strong rip someplace today that I should be aware of? Where should my child who's learning how to swim? I don't want to make them afraid of the ocean. I want to educate them on the ocean. So I find that a lot of people don't want to engage the lifeguards. They're there to help you. And if you make their life easier by garnering a little bit of information, I'm still blown away in New Jersey here, which I think would be a great campaign. When you go onto the beach in places like Florida and California, Hawaii, there is like a surf report. There is a temperature of water. There's a temperature of air. If there's rip currents, if there's jellyfish, if there's things in the water you should be mindful of. Where there's a rip current.
It's like a huge whiteboard as soon as you get onto the beach.
They have it at Cedar. They don't have it in Spring Lake. They have it at Belmar, and it gives the tides. But you don't see a rip unless you know a rip. Best advice: if there's a rip, don't go swimming if you have no clue, because the ocean is turning so fast. And we were talking about it today, how fast these rips have come and how strong they are. I don't remember rips happening this fast and being this strong so consistently.
Crazy storms,
weekend. Well,
erosion,
and it's also because the water temperatures are 7 to 10 degrees higher at the coastal areas. So then you have these large places, which in New Jersey and other places in the world, if you go out, there's the shelf. So there's very, very cold water. So you have cold water and hot water merging together. And that creates, just like in the air, which we have turbulence, you have turbulent waters, which are rips. What we put on our lifeguards when people go to the beach and they don't take responsibility of being understanding of the ocean is really unfair.
What you should do if you go to the beach is swim in front of the lifeguards. If it's any kind of waves or surf, just go waist deep, because you're fine waist deep. You can walk in, you can walk out. And certain beaches have flags. There'll be different flags depending on where you go. Red flag means you cannot go in the water. Black flag is surfing only. Green flag means go. Yellow is hazard. If the lifeguards know you when it's a yellow flag day, they know your skills. If you have fins, you have to have surf fins when it's big. Then you go out and the lifeguards will say, okay, if they don't know you on a yellow flag day, they don't let you in. There's too many deaths and drowning right now that it's so scary. And the problem, these all happen at 6 o'clock when the lifeguards leave. So
listen, we've got kids that are lifeguards, and it's stressful because not only are they looking at potential drowning victims. A very good friend of ours saw somebody OD the other day at the beach and had to administer Narcan. So there's a lot of problems with beach beyond just rips. There's stranger danger. There are pedophiles lurking if you have young kids. Now that, having a phone that has a camera is a norm. It's one of the things that you do need to look for, because creeps lurk when they can see cute kids in bathing suits. So you have to have eyes in the back of your head. On windy days, your kids can get swept down the beach. I remember looking for Abby one day and I was like, wait, she was just here. Well, they kind of blow along with the wind.
They walk with the wind, always.
They do. So there's a lot of other issues that go hand in hand with being very smart about going to the beach with your crew.
Yeah. And in that case, I feel like the whole swim with a buddy, be with a buddy is critical at our beaches, especially some of the more highly populated beaches like Long Branch, where our children lifeguard, where you can get lost in a mass of people. But if everybody has somebody that they're mutually responsible for, even at a young age and even at an older age, old people drown, as you mentioned with your nephew and uncle story earlier. It doesn't matter how adept you are at swimming. It could be you get a cramp, you could seize up, you could have another concurrent health condition happen in the water. Absolutely. That wouldn't have been deadly had you been on land.
Or you could be dehydrated. A lot of dehydration happens. And all of a sudden, when you're body surfing, and all of a sudden your calf, you're like, oh, calf cramp. Oh my gosh. And it's brutal. Another thing is, if it's windy day and you have an umbrella up, make sure you tilt your umbrella towards the wind, because how many times being a lifeguard, we actually would Rochambeau when we'd see the wind change and you're running and you're jumping and tackling.
It's like a dagger. It's
one
like
of the lifeguards in Salisbury just was impaled.
Yeah, so
she was impaled, and thankfully she was okay. But
now they have the umbrellas that actually have a vent up top and they screw into the sand. So if you're going to the beach and you're not quite sure how to do an umbrella, make sure you get the ones that screw into the beach that have air on the top so that they don't take off like Mary Poppins.
Okay, one more thing about, not only do you need to be mindful of the water, there's more things to be mindful of just the weather. And we had a situation a couple weeks ago where there was a lightning storm that wasn't close and they tried to pull everybody off the beach.
Came fast.
And people were very angry and nasty to the lifeguards in Monmouth Beach. And these are, for the most part, there's a lot of younger kids that are 25 and under. Like, that's still a young person who's trying to find their voice. And they were giving these lifeguards that were pulling them off of the beach a hard time. So you need to have your eyes in the water, but you also need to have your eyes in the sky. And the sun there too does its own thing.
Lightning can hit from 10 miles away and it could be a beautiful sunny day. There's been a couple of deaths this year from a sunny day. Some boy got blown out of his shoes by lightning. When they say get off the beach because of thunder, lightning, get off. Don't give lip, because it's so
quick.
bad right now.
You barely can.
Nobody's trying to ruin your day.
You think it's really far away and you're trying to casually pack up quick and get the heck out of there and try to get into your car before the heavens open.
Absolutely.
Yep. And put sunscreen on. Kelly Slater has a great sunscreen right now. It's called Freaks of Nature, and it's zinc. It doesn't have a lot of impurities in it.
It's got none of the nanoplastics.
No nanoplastics. It goes on white, but then it goes away. It's reef safe, which is very important. So make sure you have good sunscreen on.
If you can bring something to the beach, bring a drink.
Yeah.
You never know when it gets really hot and all of a sudden you might feel dehydrated, or you just went out and you were swimming in the water for a long time and you overexerted your muscles. And now, like she said, you're cramping up and you're the person that somebody might have to swim and pull out.
Does a margarita count for that?
Oh my
Yes.
God. Well, no, you got to keep that on the down low here in New Jersey. But
No, I don't.
and whatever you bring in, make sure, we talked about
You bring
plastics
out.
a couple episodes ago, make sure you take it out. There's no reason to bring in a bunch of garbage. Try and use reusable things and be a good beach goer, because we're all connected.
That topic of thunder, lightning, and sunscreen, hydration. If you go out on a boat, these all pertain to you. So being on a boat is the
Very
same
similar.
thing. It's very similar. Hydration. You have to make sure you check the weather. We've talked about this before in an episode. And
Don't swim behind the motor either.
Oh,
If it's in neutral and the engine's on, please be wary. So many kids dive off the boats and then they go to the back, and it's usually there's a step and it's easy to get out. But if the boat is engaged on any level, that prop is a disaster.
right.
And so many terrible accidents happen because of that. So be very careful. If you're letting kids jump overboard and swim,
All the
turn
time.
your engine off.
I will also
Or
say
turn
to
it
that, if you're letting your kid go on somebody else's boat, you're fair to ask how they're licensed, what they're licensed to do. We have a lot of varying boating laws in the country, and there are places that don't require any licensing, and they don't require maintaining that license. Having a boat doesn't operate like a car. Using the vehicle means that a lot of people are having a couple of cocktails while they're driving a boat. You don't want them towing your kid behind the boat when they're having a good time. And I will not let my kids go on somebody else's boat if I know that they're loading the boat with kids. That's another problem.
Too many.
Where there's too many kids on the boat, and every single person needs to have a personal flotation device, a life jacket on board for every single person. And the boats, as Darian can attest to, they have maxes for a reason.
Well, whoever's driving the boat should have their New Jersey boat certificate. And if you're getting a boat, make sure you go online, you get the New Jersey boater certificate. The Coast Guard approves it. Then you're in the know. You know, red right return. You need to know how to read the buoys. You need to know how to read the tides. And it's also how many people are allowed on the boat. And you always have to have a PFD for every single person on the boat. If you're 12 and under, you have to wear a PFD on the boat at all times. And if you're driving the boat, you just have to have it on the boat.
How
But
many
far-
times have you guys watched a TikTok or like Instagram, and it's where somebody is supercharging, going 3,500 RPMs or whatever the number is,
So fun.
over crazy waves, and every kid wants you to hit the waves, but if they're not stabilizing themselves, I can't tell you how many people you see like hit a wave and they fly out of the boat.
I remember when I was bringing a boat up from Miami to Fort Lauderdale, and I'm driving our Typhoon. Here comes a giant electrical storm. I'm by myself, and someone had told me right before I left, make sure you get a cord so you're tethered to your boat. How many videos have you seen? One person's on the boat, the other person's riding a wakeboard, and they go to fix the rope, fall off the boat, and the boat's going straight.
Crazy.
So they have emergency pull-off systems if you're driving the boat by yourself. Needless to
It's like
say.
a hydros, I mean, like a wave runner,
Yeah,
like
so-
that little curl.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
flips
it off
yourself.
immediately.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
but
It's
there's
a
all
kill
this other-
switch, a kill switch.
It's a kill switch.
Yeah.
So thankfully I didn't need it.
So you don't get killed. Sometimes boats can be problematic even when they're still at your dock. And A lot of times you have kids that get very excited about going and spending a day on the boat, and they rip down to the dock and they're on the boat, off the boat, while you're putting your supplies where they need to go. You could be tiring on an anchor line. You could be doing whatever you're doing because you're just not on the boat yet. And the boat could be on a floating dock. It could be bumpered off of a floating dock. So there's space between the floating dock and your boat. And unfortunately, my daughter Chase thought that she was going to be able to let her feet over the gunnels backwards to put her feet on the dock. And she slipped in between the boat and the floating dock, which was not a big space. And it was a silent drowning because everything was
How old was
sloshing. She was 2.5 years old. It was the day that I came home from having my third child. We're celebrating life, and I can't even explain to you what this looked like in that crazy moment. She went in between this little space and everything was already sloshing. My husband was tying on an anchor line that he had just bought. We got a new anchor. My dad was on the boat. Everybody was 4 feet from her. Her sister was netting jellyfish. She saw that she was having more fun than her, and she wanted to go rip that net out of her hands, and she didn't make it. Thankfully, Mackenzie recognized that, hey, my sister didn't come rip this net out of my hands, and went looking for her and saw her floating to the surface. Thankfully, Pat was a lifeguard. The Boyle family we're all lifeguards, and he recognized immediately that CPR was needed, and so was the Heimlich maneuver. And there's a discrepancy there. Some people don't believe in doing both, but it worked for us. And the Heimlich maneuver was like an old-fashioned pump that pumped the water out, and then breaths of life went in. And then we had started a nonprofit. It's called Chase for Life. It stands for CPR, Heimlich Awareness, Safety Education. And our mission was to get people empowered with sustaining a life until help can take over. You don't need to be certified to save a life. And on that note, there is something also called a dry drowning. It could be at the beach, it could be in a pool, it could be on your boat. If a child or an adult or anybody goes below the water and might aspirate just a little bit of water, you don't know. They had a scary incident, they come up coughing, maybe they throw up. That person needs to go to the hospital, because you cannot see water in your body that isn't traceable because you aspirated. And within 72 hours, dry drownings have occurred where, even in a bathtub, if somebody is submerged and they gag and they swallow too much, a dry drowning is something that can sneak up on you. There's been a lot of lives lost. So Google it, familiarize yourself with it, and don't feel badly if somebody has an incident that makes you question whether or not it could happen, because you'd rather save somebody's life than not.
To Farley's point, you don't have to get certified, get educated. You can go and do a quick YouTube video to figure out what the compressions are, what the current model is. The American Red Cross changes it all the time. It doesn't matter.
It's a business.
The bigger issue is do something. I was always, thanks to Farley, I was always certified through my work, but with her work for Chase for Life, I got a refresher course, and a couple weeks later I performed the Heimlich maneuver on my niece who was choking on a hot dog. So if you don't know what we're talking about, be inspired by what Farley created. And
Darian was Patty the Penguin.
Patty the Penguin, yep.
Which is after my husband Patrick Boyle. Patty was the hero. So Patty, the CPR daddy, Darian would put on the Patty the Penguin suit, and she would dance, and she went to all of our bigger events. Jen was on multiple committee after committee for events. We raised millions of dollars. We changed the face of CPR by using fashion, rock, and animation, and we made it hip to be in the know. How to Save a Life was our breakout song, but Staying Alive, we were the first people to ever use that song in conjunction with a mission, and a philanthropic mission at that.
If you have to rescue someone in a pool, anywhere, call 911. Do not jump in the water unless you have the skill and the wherewithal, because all these stories that you're hearing recently of first responders or dads going in to help, they're losing their life. You see a problem, call 911 and wait for help. And it would be the hardest thing to do. Research, go to chaseforlife.com, and it's very cool, everything that Farley and her family did. And you made a beautiful cause out of the most horrible situation. Thank you for sharing that, because it has to be hard every time you talk about it. And
for us to be the poster family of a potential drowning did not make sense, because my husband is an avid waterman. We are all water people. That would have been the cruelest way to lose a child. Not that any
but
other
it happens
way.
in 1 second.
Yeah.
It did. But she's absolutely perfect. And we got very, very lucky and we decided to give back. And we did for about 8 years. And it was all I did. And every one of my friends and family members participated and we saved a lot of lives.
And this is where also, when you have a kid on a dock, don't be afraid to put them in a in a life preserver. Don't be afraid to put them in something that they don't really want to wear because it doesn't feel comfortable.
Chase only didn't have one on because like at that moment, everybody was kind of preoccupied doing their thing. And she was on the boat pretending to drive. And we thought I was
She's
there.
good.
That
Everybody thought that she was fine. They weren't leaving the dock yet. So they didn't put the life preserver on her because it just didn't seem like it was the right time. It was the right time.
The thing is, it happens so fast. You don't hear someone splash into the water.
You can drown in 2 inches of water if you
Yes.
fall face down and you're a little person that doesn't have legs yet. It's a very scary, a bucket of water becomes a hazard.
Yep.
So it's a silent killer a lot of times.
And what I will say too, having a pool for all the years when we bought the house, I said to my husband as soon as we did, because I did know kids that drowned in people's pools when they had parties. I said, anytime we have people over, we are going to hire a lifeguard because mom and dad are having a good time. Everybody is thinking that, oh, my uncle, my cousin, my friend, you're watching my kid. They turn away for 2 seconds. They don't know the abilities and someone has issues. So to me, it's water safety. Take water safety really important. And anytime you mix alcohol around or near water, just understand that that's a game changer. You need to really have your wits about you and have somebody who's going to maintain their wits about them to make sure that things don't go off rails. People don't jump into the deep end of the pool and hit the side of the diving board or hit the side of the pool. These things happens. And it also
dive in the shallow end
it can
and
create
break their neck.
quadriplegics
Yeah, crushing beers on the beach,
all the
crushing
time.
cocktails. I mean, it's
Crushing
Diving into the wave, thinking that you're
Correct.
going to go through the
Yeah.
wave and it's shallow. And
you know what? It's just being smart, going out to the beach, to the pool, on your boat. Just be smart, wear a PFD, but enjoy it.
If you're
It's so much
prepared.
fun to be out there on the beach and in the elements, summer, but just be smart.
Be smart.
And when in doubt, call 911 if you see something happen. Don't jump into the mix and be the problem. Just sit, and if you do see someone drowning, something very important, if you see someone drowning and no one is helping them, don't go in
unless
there
you're
and
a
watch
proficient
them.
swimmer, if
Exactly.
you're somebody that knows what you're doing, absolutely get involved. But if you are not, do not.
Well, can I tell you about our Got Grit winner?
Getting jiggy with it.
I can't
Speaking
wait.
of all this, speaking of drowning, our Got Grit winner is legendary big wave surfer. Her name is Maya Gabeira. She is from Brazil, born in Rio in 2013. So she's one of these superchargers. So all these women right now are trying to become big wave surfers. And now you're surfing the same waves as Garrett McNamara, as the
Laird
best surfers.
Hamilton.
Yeah, the best surfers in the world. Well, she goes out in 2013 in Nazaré, which is in Portugal. It's one of the biggest waves out there, and it's magical. I can't wait to go there. Well, she's charging. All of a sudden, she has a near drowning experience. She gets, I saw the video. It was, I thought she was dead. And I had a friend who went, I know the person who went and actually rescued her. She broke her fibula, she had spinal injuries, and she spent years recovering, undergoing multiple surgeries, battling trauma. So instead of hiding and saying, I am not going back out there and I'm done surfing big waves, she moved to Nazaré and spent the next years trying to surf and charge the giant waves. And then in 2020, she went out and broke the Guinness Book of World Records surfing wave that was 73.5 feet.
Crazy.
She
That's a
faced her
skyscraper.
demon. She faced her demons and she went back and she holds the Guinness
Do
Book
we have a
of World-
video that we can
Oh my gosh,
post or
yes.
photos?
We can post the video. She was the first woman to surf big waves in Alaska, in California, in Chopu, because Chope's this place in Tahiti. It's like the heaviest wave you've ever seen. I mean, she has no fear. She's the winner of 5 Billabong Double XL Big Wave Awards, ESPY Awards for Best Female Surfer. Her comeback is featured in Maya and the Wave, a powerful film about courage, recovery, and breaking barriers. Her legacy isn't just about surfing. It's about rewriting what is possible. And these women, they're doing what they love. They're charging it just as hard as the guys. They're taking lumps and they're doing it with grit, guts, and grace.
Listen,
And
you think
that's
about
why
her
our
work?
girl, Maya Gabeira, and I met her. I remember interviewing her in Belmar when she came for an event, and she was just like, cool chick. And you would never guess that she's charging 73-foot waves and taking the beating of a lifetime, almost drowning and coming back. And that's why she is our Got Grit winner of the week.
That's awesome.
I'll tell you what, going to Uluwatu and watching giant surf recently, they were filming a little bit down from where Pat was surfing, and they had wave runners that were bringing people in, towing in. And I thought, how good of a wave runner driver do you have to be? Because you're like leasing somebody. Now you're trying to like out of the set that is like skyscraper style. And I saw this one wave runner almost get sucked in where I thought it was going to go backwards. Talk about a kill switch. But think about the rips that we're talking about. Now think about a 76-foot wave that this girl is surfing. And if you fall, now this skyscraper is falling on top of you, and the white water and what's swirling beneath it, it's the most terrifying thing to think about. Most people can't even fathom it because they've never experienced anything like it. I am bowing down to this girl.
Oh, she's legendary. And when you talk about the people who are towing in the jet skis, Double D, Derek Dorner, he was a pioneer in surfing. They were the first group that did it, and now he's the one towing in, and you still get taken out. It's crazy. You gotta have big cojones.
Yeah, you're just a different breed of human when you want to paddle into something of that size. And
it's just that extreme mentality.
It's junky.
It's crazy. But and I've been in Azar, and if for anybody that has gone there, a couple of people are going to Portugal that I know right now.
Like
it's a really cool spot, and there's so much surf history, and there's a really cool stretch of beach that is one of my favorites. It's 7 miles of a national park that is epic. So for all of our surfer water lovers, it's a great spot. I can't believe you haven't been there.
She wants to go, and I haven't been, and I want to go with you guys.
Girls Gone Gritty trip.
I think that this sounds like a
perfect trip. But Gabar, you have a good song for us today?
I am taking us back in time because this particular musician I love, and we're all things summer, and I wanted to bring us back into a happy place instead of a scared place, because if you're empowered, then you can enjoy all the things that we just discussed and this song. I can't wait to fall in love with you. You can't wait to fall in love with me. This just can't be summer love, you'll see. This just can't be summer love. Come on and let me show you around. Let me take you out. Bet we could have some fun, girl, because we can dress it up, we can dress it down.
Woo! Love Justin Timberlake.
Of course,
he's so good. Of course, we've seen him 100 times together.
Yes, and sometimes you just got to go back,
revisit the things that you love, and we thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Girls Gone Gritty. We hope that you're inspired to hit the water the remainder of the summer a little more savvy, so you can enjoy the rays and final days of summer with those you love. Next week, we will be tackling the convergence of sports into our summer, and then managing them all. We love and appreciate if you would share this episode with your friends and families in the game of life, both on and off the field, with thought-provoking, real conversation. So let's go get gritty. Follow us, share us, love us. We love you.
Peace out.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Girls Gone Gritty.
You can check us out on Instagram and Facebook.
If this episode hits home, share it with someone who needs to get gritty.
The 3 Gs, we'll see you next week.
Peace out.